all zodiac signs. My name is Greta. I am an intuitive reader. Let me just do a little bit of behind the scenes here. Get situated, get started. There we go. And we'll do that. And then I like to start my readings with a little bit of smudge. For this smudge, I'm using some sage. I do have some rose petals in my burning dish here. And 3 chimes to bring in positive energy. This is a general reading for all zodiac signs. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listeners today. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for listeners today. Again, my name is Greta. I am an intuitive reader. I do look at the sun placement, the moon placements, and other planetary placements to get a good idea of the energy that is surrounding the listener at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener today. I am an intuitive reader, so I do trust my intuition first and foremost. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener today. The layout of this reading, when we are looking at this first row, we will be looking at your work life, your public life, and your professional life. The second row is your home life, your personal life, your private life, your love life. And the final row is final thoughts, final messages, final takeaway. When we're going through the reading, when I'm done with your work life, your professional life, I will do a quick pause to see if there's any questions that you would like to ask in regards to the cards that were on the table or in regards to what is said, and find clarity. I'll also take a pause after your private life and your personal life, and then after final thoughts, final messages, I will open up the reading to questions. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener today. Let me just line these up just a tad. I do like you to be able to get a good look at a good view of the cards on the table. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener today. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener. One more card. Oh, that was just too many cards. We were looking for one more card, please, Spirit. Hi, Tina. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you for saying hi. My name is Greta. I am an intuitive reader. If this is your first time tuning in, when we look at this top row, we will be looking at your public life, your professional life, your public life. The second row is your private life, your personal life. Hey, Brenda, thank you for tuning in and saying hi. And this final row is final thoughts, final messages. During the reading, before I move on from your public life to your private life, I will give a brief pause. If you have any question in regards to the cards that are on the table or the topic of conversation, please feel free to write those in the comment sections. I will do my best to help you find clarity. At the end of the reading, I will open it up for general questions that you may have, in hopes on the cards that are on the table or to help you find clarity. Thank you, Spirit. Messages. Let me just move these over just a little bit closer. I do like you to be able to look and see the cards so we can see what's going on here. Perfect. And the foundation, the basis of this reading is the Four of Cups. There is a gift coming in, and perhaps this gift isn't something that is appearing as a gift at first. And that is forced, that is driven by the Six of Swords. And the six in tarot represents security, and the four in tarot represents stability. So there is something in your stability and your sense of security that has been unfolding. And perhaps what the gift is, or what is being presented to you, is not quite clear yet. That you are experiencing the chaos, but you're not seeing how to achieve that peace that you are seeking. There's peace in chaos, and you're not able to see that peace at this time. The swords in tarot represents intellect, heart, mind, and the results of the scene. So you're not seeing the results. And the cups in tarot represents love, nurture, and more importantly, your inner being and inner transformation. And so this that you are experiencing, or that you are going through at this time, the physical chaos is bringing about emotional peace and emotional tranquility. And let's see how that plays into the rest of your cards here. Thank you, Spirit. Messages for the listener today. And we start off with the Knight of Cups. I like to call this Knight of Cups the slow and steady wins the race. If we can see, his mount does have action, but he's moving forward very guardedly and really protecting what it is that he has in that chalice, what he has in that cup. And he's getting ready to cross that water there. And if you can see, that's some turbulent water. It's not a lot of water, but it's just enough turbulence to make him slow down and pay attention. And then we have the Eight of Swords, feeling stuck, feeling trapped, or maybe even blinded to something. There's something that we are not seeing. What are we not seeing? We are not seeing judgment. There is a judgment here. This is the spiritual judgment, the internal judgment, and it's almost, obviously we can see the archangel here, but if we see that these people are actually raising out of their coffin, they're rising from the dead, and they're rising from the dead as a transformation from one state to the next. It's almost like the blinders have been lifted. You're able to see clearer. And as you're able to see clearer and you're able to move forward, it becomes more about the spiritual journey than the physical journey. Hi, Canna. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello. My name is Greta. I am an intuitive reader. I do look at the sun, the moon, and the planetary placements to get a good idea of energy, but I always trust my intuition first and foremost. And then that is followed by the Queen of Wands, trusting our intuition, following our passions. And what I love about the suit of wands in the tarot is wands represents the power, the divine spark of our soul, the spirit within, the essence of our spirit that drives us, that motivates us. And we're really ready to trust that, ready to trust that. There has been increased competition. There has been an increase. I keep saying competition, but I don't see the Chariot card here. But there's been increased pressure, increased stress in your public life, in your work life. And this increased stress is affecting your sense of security. I feel that there are times when you get up to go into your business, or you get up to go into your career, or when you're going to how it is that you generate or finance money, that you're wondering, is my job going to be there? Is the place going to be open? Is this the day that they're going to let me go? Is this my last day? I'm so sorry to hear that you're experiencing a lot of negative energy at work. And I do believe that that is what these cards are saying. But what I like about what these cards are indicating is that here you are. Here you are, the beautiful Queen of Wands, sitting on her throne, sitting in her power. And also, another thing I would like you to look at and consider is that black cat there. And so, black cats in the United States are a sign of bad luck, or people are really, but honestly, in the tarot, that black cat is a guardian sent to guard her. And so when we see that cat there sitting in front of her guarding us, that is letting us know that you are being divinely protected at this time. And that maybe perhaps you, black cats are my lucky black cats. I love when I see black cats. I do. Black cats, when I see a black cat, especially if it's crossing my path, it's like, I know money's coming to me. And it's like, yes, money's coming to me. Yes. And I do believe in Asia and a lot of those countries over there, black cats are considered lucky. I don't know how they became unlucky in the United States, but thank you. Let me try not to get too off path here. So I believe that you are planning or looking for new employment, or maybe you're even considering starting your own business. And I do believe whether you are looking for new employment, for some of you, it may be that you're changing your school, changing your education, or maybe even changing your, I'm drawing a blank, your degree. It's like maybe you initially started your degree to go into social work, and now you have decided that that is not going to work for you, and you're looking into different degrees, a different way, a different direction. But whatever this new direction that you are looking at, whatever this new position, this new business, whatever it is that you're looking into start or to restarting at this time, it is going to be successful, and you're going to love the results. You're going to be very pleased with the change that this is forcing you to make, or the pressure is causing a positive change. That is why we're seeing this Four of Cups. It is a quiet transition. There's been a shift within you. It's like, you don't pay me enough for all of this. And the amount of work that I need to put in to get the amount of payoff is not working for me. We're being pressured into exploring other options. And these new options that you are exploring are going to come back and pay you in dividends. They're going to pay you in dividends, both spiritually and physically. And that's why, because here, way down under that quiet transition, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is emotional and spiritual fulfillment. I love that for you. Did anyone have any questions about their public life, their professional life, before I move on to your personal life, your private life? Yes. And I do believe that that black cat in history in the United States started with the Salem witch trials. And we all know how wrong they were about that and how messed up what that is. And um, fear, when anyone is acting out of fear because it's something that they do not understand, there's going to be, they're going to act out irrationally. And it is sad that there was just so many people that are on the board to act irrationally. But fear of the unknown is a common driver. And in your private life, in your personal life, look, we are making the magic happen. And in the tarot, I'm just showing, for example, in the tarot, the Fool card is the beginning of a journey, a fresh start. And the Magician and the Fool are the same. The Fool has everything he needs in that hobo's knapsack there. And the Magician is the same person, yet he has unpacked everything that he needs, and he is prepared to move forward. I'm so happy for you, Tina. I know that social media, that can be a two-edged sword sometimes. Yes. And so, Tina, what do you do on social media? Or what were you doing with social media? So we are ready for the next step, the next phase of our personal life, or in our personal life. And that is followed by the star card. And the star card in tarot can represent the sign of Aquarius. You may be an Aquarius, or you may have a lot of Aquarius in your birth chart, or you may be dealing with an Aquarius. One of the most beautiful things about the Aquarius is the great humanitarian. Oh, I'm so glad that you're Aquarius. You are our humanitarian on the team tonight. And so, Aquarius, they are about bringing about the greater good for the world, for the planet, for this universe. That, in part, is your mission here in life, is to bring about the greater good. And yes, Tina, a social worker, very helpful. And thank you for doing that work. I do know that social work, especially in today's times, can be very draining and very emotionally taxing. Um, Thank you very much for your service, Tina. And that is followed by the Two of Wands. And two in tarot represents balance, contrast, partnership, and choice. And here in your private life, I do believe we're talking about choice. You have the world in your hands. And maybe to a certain extent, you've come to a point where you believe that you have seen it all or that you have experienced it all. And there's, you have the world in your hands, but we're feeling like we're at an impasse. It's like, what am I going to do with all of this wisdom? What am I going to do with all of this knowledge? What am I going to do with all of this passion? And here you are again showing up as the hangman. And that is spirit, that is source asking us to look within and seek enlightenment. And so the hangman has actually chosen to be hung. And he's chosen to be hung and experience that discomfort in order to achieve, in order to reach enlightenment. And let's see here. This week, Venus is in Cancer and Mars is in Taurus. And that can be a really wonderful contrast in our love lives or in our personal lives. If you have a love interest or if you're wanting to add sexy back into an existing relationship, this is the week for that. This is the week to make connections, on a deeper level, and to really maybe set aside private time for a special someone. And even if that special someone is you, it all counts. The best way to be loved and the best way to love others is by first loving and respecting ourselves. Did anyone have any questions before I moved on to final thoughts? I'm so glad that it's emotionally fulfilling. Tina, how long have you been in the social work field? I think that, um, like with nursing and with social work, and I even think to a certain extent, even with legal work, just because of the state of the world at this time, it's not a long term career. Many times people find after 10 or 15 years that they're experiencing burnout and they're wanting to try something different. And it's just emotional. I know when I was younger, I did work as a certified nursing assistant. And the first 2 years, I loved it. I loved it. And then suddenly I started losing a lot of patients, a lot of clients, and it was very hard. I couldn't take that emotionally. So that was the end of my nursing career. It's just when we're empathic, Tina, and I'm sure you know, when we're empathic like that and we just take on everyone's feelings and everyone's emotions, and we're really just wanting the greater good. Um, you know, there's only so many protection spells that we can put on ourselves. And then we start with the Seven of Swords, planning, coming up with a plan, thinking things out, trying to determine, trying to decide, coming up, finding the right words, finding the right actions. The Knight of Wands, taking action, following our passions, following our heart's desires. And again, we have the Fool's card, which is fresh starts, new beginnings, and having everything that we need. And even maybe perhaps at this time, as we're looking into taking the next step in our lives, we're unsure if we have everything that we need. But do know and do trust that you do have everything that you need, as is represented in that hobos pack. And there's going to be a lot of effort. There, you are going to be required to put forth a lot of effort, a lot of work into following your passions, into following your desires. Many times when tarot readers see the Nine of Wands, they will call this the wounded soldier. 3 years. Thank you, Tina. Yes, it is. Being an empath is definitely no joke, especially when we're working with people in need, most definitely. And, you know, the world does need us empaths out there working towards the greater good. And, you know, we come into this life to evolve. We come into this life to become more. And in order to become more, we must learn to increase our knowledge base. And true learning involves connecting the physical, the mind, and the spirit. And dissatisfaction can be countered by achieving our inner desires. And I do believe that that's why we're seeing all of these wands here in final thoughts, final messages. It's about using our inner desires to overcome dissatisfaction. And we can overcome that by increasing our knowledge base and satisfy our inner desires by learning a new hobby or learning a new skill. I do believe in the next few weeks, you will be presented with several opportunities for you to express yourself through hobbies or even learning a new skill. And I would invite you to say yes to as many of those new skills or hobbies. And I think for some of you, it may be even there was a career that you were looking at in the past that maybe you skipped, or maybe you passed by, or maybe you started and didn't complete. I do believe that there is a past job or a past career opportunity that's going to be representing itself to you. And do consider saying yes to that. Yes. Yes, and so Tina, that is why self-care is so utterly important for us empaths, and to really work self-care into our daily routine. And many times during my readings, that's why you'll hear me speak about meditation. You'll hear me speak about nature walks and really spending quiet time with ourselves. Not only does it decompress our physical being, but it also gives us a chance to connect with our spiritual and to release that. I know sometimes during very emotional times, very heavy times, I'll sit in meditation and just focus on my breath. And the wonderful thing about this planet is that it is the great recycler. It can take all of the negative energy that we give it and recycle it. So I'll breathe in clean energy, in with the good, breathe out negative energy, out with the bad, and just spend a good 5 to 10 minutes. I love bilateral beats. Oh, I do. Yes, I do. So, yes. And sometimes in my readings, I'll bring up the healing beats, the bilateral beats. I don't know, what frequency do you listen to, Kana? I listen to all frequencies. Many times during my readings, in the background, maybe you'll hear some bilateral beats going. Yes. Um, so that was the reading that I had for this evening. Did anybody have any questions before I let you go? Yes. So, and the crystals, I charge my crystals and look, and I have my amethyst and all of them want to resolve. Could you narrow it down to one question, please? And Canna, what zodiac sign are you? Yes. And my chiming bowl, and then I have my bell. I think sometimes my family thinks I've gone off my rocker, but I'm in my happy place, and I think I provide a safe environment for them. And Canna, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And so you're Aquarius. And Canna, what is your question that you would like to ask this evening? Yes. Yes. And I do sometimes, especially when I know that people that I love or care deeply about are in need, I do ask Archangel Michael to please watch over them and defend them. He is the great defender, the great warrior spirit. Yes, and sometimes I'll even call my ancestors. It's like, sometimes I'll even send my guardian angels, especially, well, if you have children, it's like when they're in need, the mama bear comes out, and we'll call down all the saints. Canna, did you have a question? Well, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening. Oh, And so again, Canna, I do believe, and look here, as I stopped, here we have the Empress card, and the Empress card is letting you know that you have the ability, you have everything that you need to manifest the work environment that you would like to manifest. You are being divinely protected at this time. Um, Again, I see that there is a past work experience that are a past something that you wanted to do in the past or something that you did in the past is wanting to come up, is wanting to come back. And it's going to require action on your part. Is going to require that, I don't know if you need to, or if you're looking for a new job, if you're putting applications out in your new job, or if you're wanting to start a new business, or if you're wanting to start a new career, the energy is right for that to turn out well. The energy is right for that to turn out well. I do know that you're experiencing pressure on that part, but I know that you've been looking for ways to improve your work situation. And I don't know if it's because of the flow of work or if it's the order that things are done, or sometimes it's just bad management practices, bad business practices, or if it's the people you're working with, or if it's a combination of all of those things. I know that you're wanting to make work easier, and I know that you've been wanting to find a solution. But the solution that you are trying to find, you're trying to look for a solution outside of yourself, where the real solution is going to come from within yourself. And that is why we're seeing this Queen of Wands here, that you have the answer within you. I know that that's not a, a black and white answer, or an answer that is written in stone where source or spirit says that you should do this. And many times, so never, honestly, never will source say this is what you should do. It's always trust your intuition and listen to your inner voice. And why that is because of free will. And anytime that source, or if anyone should say that you need to do this or that you should do this, it takes away your free will. But again, Kana, you have this Empress card came up specifically for you. And that is source saying that you have everything that you need to manifest your work, manifest the life of your dreams by trusting your intuition and following what it is that you love to do. Aries sun rising. Okay, let's see, Miss Aries. And you're having difficulty. I'm very grateful for your time and energy as well. And do visit my channel for my weekly readings. Those are pre-recorded, but I do one weekly reading for each zodiac sign, and then I do one for let's see, what were you again? Aquarius. And so I do the air signs, which be Aquarius. I do those on Thursday nights, which is live. And then on Sunday nights, I do the free for all. Okay. And then I wanted to know, with my home life was presented anew, I'm seeing fault. Was divine timing at play? Divine timing is always in play. Synchronicities are always in play. And again, look at this. I don't even need to. I know that you've been juggling your work and career, and your career has been very demanding at this time. But do know that things come into life just as they're meant to be. And anytime that we are learning a new skill, are trying to balance between home and career, it gets off to a rocky start. Yes, that is, we did see that, and we are a time of transition, a time of peace. Yes. I think, Tina, the most important part about this in your home life at this time is about having open conversation with those that are surrounding you in your personal life, and letting them know exactly what your needs are and exactly what you are capable of giving to your home life at this time. And I do believe with that open conversation, that's going to open the door for those around you to have that open conversation. And so instead of trying to address or to fix the issue alone, you're also knowing what the other people around you are capable of, and what the other people around you are expecting, and what that they can give. And there's a lot of balance in even just knowing that. Even if we're not able to adjust our schedule, or we're not able to adjust, just knowing that everyone knows what is needed and what is expected really does take off a lot of pressure. I am a firm believer in writing things down as well, Tina. And that is the message that I have for all zodiac signs this week. Again, I do invite you to tune in to your weekly reading and your live readings. And you have a blessed Sunday, and I will see you next week. Thank you.